Hello, so I've been busy after work today. I've not bothered filming anything so far, however I've got a fair amount done, so I thought I'd start the video now so it didn't take too much time off my hands. But with that being said, I'm going to try and get the units in today, the final piece that's going to go here behind the seats. I've got one made ready to be pieced together, and I've also got the drawer at the back of the bed done, completed. That's what I was doing off camera, so I'll show you that now. This is it. I'll show you it, pulled it out, but nice and flush both sides, plenty of space so that it comes in and out nice and easily. But I'll show you from the back. Looks the part. Put this in for a handle. It's not on drawer runners just yet. I need to buy some because it's quite a large drawer, so I don't have any lying around. But get some drawer runners and then that is it, completely done. So when I first thought of doing this drawer at the back, it would be for cooking space. That was the original idea, and it still is. So I thought, to make it a working cooking space, I need storage to store it in while I'm not using it. And then when I am using it, I need a worktop space to be able to cook. Above my head here, above the two doors, I'll try and get a rollout awning like I said in the previous video. And then this here will be my cooking space. And I'll show you what I mean. This is the drawer. That's basically how it'll be. I've made these so they fit in, and this one as well. Like I say, obviously when I get drawer runners it'll work properly, but this one's quite tight. I made this one tight. There we go. So without the top, so hopefully the oven, the cooker, and everything that needs to be in here for cooking. So I've got these as well, little chopping boards. Fire blanket there, that actually came with the van when we got it, so kept that in. The idea was keep everything in here, the cooker, all the bits that we need, so if it all fits it will all go in here. However, if the cutlery and stuff don't fit, that'll be going in this unit here, but that's only if it doesn't fit in here. But that's what I've been up to anyway. So that'll work nicely once the rails go back on. So it's all coming together quite nicely. I just need to do this. There, because that's the pull-out bed. So I'll probably do two on there, so it's easier to pull out. And then this is what I've just been up to. So you've got three supports. You've got one plinth for like underneath the doors, and then you've got the two sides there, and then that one is going to go here, and hopefully get this one done and in place. Then the fridge can go in it, and we'll figure out what else can go there. So it's going to go about there. I just need to notch out at the back here. So I thought I'd make it first, get it into place, get it sturdy, and then what I can do is cut along there and cut this where it needs to be, get it into place, and then I can make a little boxing section for it, just to support it again. Exactly the same height as under here, so then when we put the worktop on it, it's the same height, no matter what worktop we put on, because they'll both be the same. But that's essentially it. This line here is to go to there, and then the doors then on the outside of that. So it's simple. And then the other one, this one's a bit easier because it only comes to here. I've kept all this like empty, so from here to there I'll probably just need a little bit of a notch out, nothing much. Same again, so that line flows through, and then obviously this doesn't fit perfectly yet, but when it does, the toilet will fit in there perfect. Loose enough so that you can drag it in and out, but tight enough so that it won't actually move. I'll work on that and then I'll show you afterwards how I've done it, and then I'll jump onto this one hopefully before the night starts coming in. So this is what I meant. I also figured out I needed a notch out there for the seat, which is perfectly fine, so that it go back to there, and then that's bang on the line. So the end of this is supposed to be there, bang on, and then it follows it, and then this is what I meant. So this is what we cut out of there, so like that is how it went. Now, I don't know if anyone else knew this, but if you do that, perfect. Trick of the trade, I suppose. Well, that's how it's going to be. So I need to pin that back on, pin these together as is, and then yeah, that's the first one done. So just while we had it out, I did just decide to cut that off all the way along. It just gives you that little bit more room. But that's together. Nice. Obviously still got room to move the driver's seat back if I need to, but that's in my set position. Yeah. Get it all in position, and then I can measure up, double check this one and get that one made. And yeah, that's it, go from there. Just a quick mid-video update. I've nipped out and got some drawer runners for this, so it actually works. So I've just been working on getting this one made, and that fits nicely in there, opens up fully. Little door stops on that one as well. Nice shelf made in there. Step out. So what we're going to do with this one is this one's going to have paneling on like there, and then I think we're just going to leave that for now. All the doors, and there's one door, two here, and then a blank panel. I think we're just going to leave them blank for the time being, because we don't want to, because there's a lot of that now basically, and it looks great there. I don't want to overdo it, so I'll leave them blank for the time being. Just do that one so it blends in, and just see what it looks like, because they can always be put on at a later date. But that's pretty much how it's going to be. Toilet fits amazing, but it's still but as for the next step, will probably be the doors, that panel, and maybe just cut a temporary worktop, and then we'll move on to this nightmare, because I've got to try to scribe something into there as well as put a door on. So I've just cut this door, 18mm ply, and then now what we're gonna do is get a kitchen hinge. There we go. And that is 35mm, I think. Pretty sure these are 34 or 35mm. And as a kitchen hinge does, it sits there. So what I've done is marked, what I will do is mark 65mm up and 65mm down so that they're the same. And that will give me enough space so that that bit doesn't collide with anything on the unit. And then you get one of these. They're not too expensive, probably about £5 to a tenner. And that basically cuts the exact hole that you need for that to sit in. And then you're off. What I usually do though is take these screws out, because you've got to drill these. They're not self-drilling. So I usually just take those out and change them to just 20mm, 25mm screw, depending on how big your timber is that you're working with. But before that, I get the router, just with a small edge on it. That goes flat on there. Might be able to see better there. And that just puts a nice little bevel on it, which I'll do now. Make sure it's set to the depth, otherwise if you go really deep, it might look a bit stupid. So that's the only tip I'd give you when you're doing it. So after it's been routed, this is basically what it looks like. Oh, try and get a... There you go. So a bit of a sand on that as well, and it'll be perfect. So I'm going to do both sides, the back and the front. Then I'll put the hinges on, and then I'll go see what it looks like. I'll cut all the three, and then I'll put them on, get them all leveled up. So I've managed to put, ignore this for a minute, I'll explain it. I've managed to put all the doors on, the soft close hinges, so stop it from banging around as much. I did want this one swinging the opposite way, like that, so that you could easily reach around. However, it's not an issue, you could still get round, but it would have just been a bit awkward to try and put a piece in for it to swing off, whereas it's got this. I just didn't plan ahead quite properly, but I'm happy with how it is anyway, like that. And then I've just cut this panel now. This isn't going to be a door, this is just going to be sort of blank. If I step out, nicely finished. I'll screw that in, it's not bad there either. Obviously that does bend, I need to fix it properly, but it won't, it's not like it's going to be fixed like that, so that'll be nice. And obviously it's having carpet on it as well, but as it sits, all the rounded edges, you know, all look quite nice, even gaps. Obviously not that one because I need to fix this one that way, but I'll do that now, and then that'll be the finished products. And then after that, we'll have a look at getting a worktop on. But as you just saw, I made this, so I made a piece in there that sort of scribes around with the van, and the purpose of that, even though it looks quite nice anyway, but the purpose of that is to keep these square as possible, because when your units aren't square, trying to level up your doors is quite hard. You'll end up with like a really small gap here and a big gap here, and same there, so on. So the purpose of that is to keep it square, and that one will hopefully push against that a little bit. And then this is, to be honest, it's more to keep that where it is, because I can't get a fixing into that. That's the purpose of it. However, I've put it a bit lower down rather than up here out the way, because if we're out on walks and stuff, we have like umbrellas or even our keys, because we have lanyards on our keys, we can hook around it. It's plenty strong for anything else anyway, or we can use it for like a tea towel with it being a kitchen area. But yeah, that's how it stands anyway. So they're all on, all fixed, all working. Fridge is in there, nice. And then on this one, I'll open, can reach, oh, can't see that. You can reach around, plenty of room, and that panel's on nicely. The reason why I've screwed that and not pinned it, I want it accessible if I ever need to get round for whatever reason, because I'm planning on having a USB charging port and switches or what have you there, but also having one there as well, like another charging port. So I want two, just to make life easier, and why not? So I wanted that accessible, so I could just take it on and off whenever I need to, but it'll all be painted, so after it won't be seen anyway. So, but that's that. And then this now should hopefully, nice, show you properly, nicely slide in there. Perfect. So you can still access this door. I'll probably put another I'll probably just put a pillow over that. Oh, 1 sec. So I say, just imagine pillow on there. Sort of hide it in some sort of way, because I just want it easy enough. So if I need to change it, it's just dead easy. Yeah, I'm really happy with that.